Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stands. Brentford 4, Manchester United 0. This is not a drill, it's not a dream, it's the reality, and it's also not a blip. This is going to keep happening. That's the scary thing. I've watched Man United for decades. I've seen us lose at Southampton in a grey kit. Today we're in a lime kit, and that was a blip. You know, Sir Alex blamed it on the kit. We got beat. We bounced back. I think we won the league that year. But this team is going to get beat again and again and again and again. I don't think there's a team in the Premier League that wouldn't beat this team at the moment. It's absolutely terrible. I put a tweet out earlier of Harry Maguire at centre-back as the captain. I'm not focusing on Harry Maguire at all. But what I'm saying is in the last 12 months, he's captained the team to 7 beatings. 7 beatings where we've been beaten 4-0, 5-0, all sorts. This is going to keep happening. This is what Manchester United are now. We'll get beat by Liverpool. We are bottom of the league. We have got 0 points. We're away to Southampton. They'll fancy their chances. Leeds will fancy their chances. Leicester will fancy their chances. We are terrible. We pay ridiculous money to players that are on more wages than what most of the Man City and Liverpool squad are on. We want to give Adrian Rabiot, that nobody wants, 200 grand a week. This is complete and utter sabotage. 100%. Mark your players out of 10, 6 being the average. We'll do the player ratings in a minute. It is sabotage, and something has to change. My vision of change is the Glazers go. You bring a new owner in. You sack Arnold, Murta, Fletcher, most of the coaches, most of the board, and then you clear out most of that team and you cleanse that football club from top to bottom. There is no doubt that the Glazers have caused this, but people such as Bruno Fernandes, Harry Maguire, Scott McTominay and Marcus Rashford, who played for most of that game today, I know McTominay came on in the second half, that to me was a sin. There is something going on at that football club. There is some sort of hidden player power that allows Harry Maguire, Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes to keep playing no matter what, and normally Scott McTominay. Those 4 players consistently get picked. Look at those results over the last 12 months. I wouldn't be surprised if those 4 players played in 90% of those thrashings. That's 4 players. There's too much crap in that team, and there's something dodgy going on behind the scenes. There's no accountability. They're arrogant. They're egotistical. They don't blame anybody else. Sorry, they don't blame themselves. It's a horrible, horrible, horrible football club. Apart from the fans. Apart from you and the fans out there that are still singing, still loving this football club as we do. There's nowhere for us to go. We're not going anywhere, but change needs to happen. And we need to be very grown up about that, because rants and raves and overreactions don't get you anywhere. We need to be grown up about this in a much bigger way, because those players, and I don't want to listen to ex-players or media outlets saying Rangnick was right. The fans said Rangnick was right, and the media said, oh, he's got this weird relationship with the fans when actually he's not that good. Ten Hag has had 6 weeks to train this team. Rangnick didn't get 6 days. He was straight into the season. And that team is unrecognisable. We haven't scored against the Brentford team. Brentford were 4-0 up and they were in second gear on a hot sunny day in the second half. We didn't score a goal. We've just broken a record from the 1930s of 7 league games in a row losing in the top league. They're record breakers. The one good thing about that team is Harry Maguire is good at getting relegated, and we're in the relegation zone now. So if we want to win relegation, we've got the man to lead us to it. But look, it's not just about Maguire. We'll go through the player ratings in a minute, and I think that's the most important bit, because every one of them needs to be called out. But I do want to say that when you are at rock bottom, and I don't think we are at rock bottom yet, I think there's more of these losses to come. But when you are not doing particularly well, you've got to analyse the problem and not just blame that person or that player or that owner or that CEO. Man United is where it is because it's an absolute shit show. Brentford are not going to beat anybody else 4-0 at half time this season. They're not a team that does that. Brentford are a well organised team that wins games 2-1, 2-0, things like that. They're not a 4-0 at half time team. When Man United are losing 4-0 to Brentford at half time, that's not a one-off. That's not a bad day at the office. That is pure and utter downing the tools. Again, these players are downing tools. These players are bottle jobs. I was talking about this on the watch along. There's a couple of Man United midfielders, McFred, who've got me blocked on social media. I didn't even know about it till somebody told me. What professional footballer blocks fans for saying the crap? Why would you be bothered? Why would you have that in your head? It shows a weak mentality. There's rumours that some of the players don't get on with Ronaldo. Andy Cole and Teddy Sheringham didn't get on. But you know what it does? It's a glimpse into the egotistical prats we've got in that dressing room. They don't know what being a professional is. They probably don't get on with each other, so they don't pass to each other. That's how thick they all are. They want the perfect scenario. Well, I tell you what, winners win world titles on a rainy day, on a cold day. Like, you're never going to get the perfect scenario. You're never going to get the perfect team where you all get on with each other and appreciate each other. We've got a team of amateurs in a club that should be elite. And unfortunately, we've also got a board and a set of owners like that as well. And it's costing us, and it's going to keep costing us. And the people I've got respect for are the fans that went there today and started singing, and you know, as they do. We've got the best fans in the league. They're brilliant. We've had so many bad results over the last few years. Week in, week out, they're there. Week in, week out, you're there, getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning and all sorts. You're not going to go anywhere. You're fantastic. But they're the people I feel sorry for, because we're going to have more of this. This is not a one-off. This is going to keep happening. I suppose the big question is, do you feel sorry for Ten Hag? And I do. I do feel sorry for Ten Hag, because he spent 6 weeks training this team. They've started the season. He's lost 2 games. His first 2 competitive games as a Man United manager, he's lost to the mighty Brentford and Brighton, with all due respect, and they deserve to beat us. He's had 0 backing in the summer transfer window. He's spent £55 million on a second choice centre-back. He wanted Timber, a free transfer, and a left-back that he won't pick over Luke Shaw. So I think you've got to look at Ten Hag and say, I feel sorry for him, because that team needs midfielders and it needs attackers, and he's not been given them. But on the game today, I have to be fair, and I have to throw shade at Ten Hag in a way, because this is on the players, in my opinion, says Scott Mack. The Glazers have infected and corrupted everything that was great about this club, says Thomas. Isn't it weird that Maguire, McTominay is playing time and Van der Beek only plays less than 10 minutes, and it happened during Ollie era as well? It's really fishy, says Carl. There's something really fishy. Look at Brighton's tweet, says Adam Jackson. And Mark, last year's historically bad record looks peachy compared to the green kit and recent. Rangnick was right. Rangnick looks better by the day, to be honest, doesn't he? I know while we have a green kit, we can green screen our players into a different kit and pretend we aren't United, says Liam Charmer. But look, in relation to Erik Ten Hag, my feeling is this. He's made big mistakes today. His team selection was wrong. Bruno never should have started. Maguire shouldn't have started. And Luke Shaw shouldn't have started. For me, Varane, Malacia and Donny should have started. Why is Ten Hag, who created Donny, who bought Malacia and bought Martinez, why is he favouring, and this keeps happening, Rangnick did it, Ollie did it, you'll see a pattern here. Bruno, McTominay, Maguire and Shaw always start. Now, that would be fine if they played well. You'd go, well, they deserve to start. But those 4 players always start. This is my conspiracy theory, and it might be mad. He bought Martinez for 55 million and hauls him off at half-time to keep Maguire on and bring Varane on. Shaw was crap last week and cost us a goal. He doesn't start his new signing Malacia. He starts Shaw, who costs us a goal. McTominay was awful last week. He brings him on at half-time ahead of Garner and Donny. Now, if you're Garner and Donny, you must be sat there going, hold on a minute. McTominay was pure shite last week. We're losing 4-0 at half-time. The game is over. All you need to do is stabilise that team and start looking forward. What does he do? He goes back to the shit player from last week. Doesn't give Garner time. He could have learnt something about Garner or Donny in that 45 minutes, because the game's over. He brings McTominay on, who stupidly gets a yellow card again, runs the ball out of play, does absolutely nothing. There's something weird going on at that club. I back Ten Hag, but I've seen Rangnick do it, Ten Hag does it, Ollie does it. There's certain players in that team that always stay on. Sancho gets brought off in the second half. He's the only player who can put his foot on the ball and play a 1-2. Sancho gets took off for Elanga, who's basically the same as Rashford, head down and run. So we've got 2 wingers now who aren't going to cross the ball. They're just going to get the head down and run. The substitutions are just weird. They're weird. There's something really weird going on at that football club. And as I said, the captaincy's a joke. He is the worst captain we've ever had at the club. He's had more beatings than an egg. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. But there's so much wrong with the club. It's not just on one player. They're all absolutely shit. If you're 4-0 down against Brentford, you're shit. It's as simple as that. For Ten Hag, where do we go from here? This morning I thought we were going to get De Jong. There was a lot of rumours we were going to get De Jong. I don't think we get De Jong now. I don't see how we get De Jong now. He watches that game and realises that when United say, you're going to be a big part of our future, you're going to help us build the future, it's 1 year out of the Champions League. It's already 2 years. We're not in the Champions League next year. So for De Jong to come to United, he's 25. He's not playing in the Champions League till he's 28. I just don't think he'll do it. If we pull that off, I'd be very surprised now. And that's the danger of doing your business late. Because if we'd got De Jong before the season started, it'd be too late for him to realise it's a mistake. He's here. But he can look at it now and go, you've lost your first 2 games of the season to Brentford and Brighton. You're going to lose a lot more. I'm not coming here. So I think we've blown that. No half-decent player would come to our club now. What we're going to be buying is Eredivisie players and Rabios. Desperation, overpaid, inexperienced players. That's what we're going to buy. Maguire's going to keep getting picked. McTominay's going to keep getting picked. Bruno's going to keep getting picked. And we're going to keep getting beaten. And this season is going to be very, very hard. I think our best hope of the future is to get the Glazers out and rebuild this club. And what I'd like to see is the Glazers go, a new owners come in, clear house on the board, the coaches, the whole lot, and build the club properly over the next 5 years. That's our biggest hope now, because this ain't going to get any better. It's going to keep happening. I don't know where our first win's going to come from. And also, everyone who's had a pop at Ronaldo, can I just say, what did Ronaldo do wrong today? I'd probably give him man of the match. I'm going to do the player ratings now. But Ronaldo knew this was coming. There was a lot of people saying, Ronaldo's a disgrace, get out of my club if he doesn't want to be here. All right, that's fine. But can you blame him for not wanting to be here? He trained with these players last year. He knows their mentality. He knows what they're like. He's at the end of June. He sees we've bought nobody. And he knows he's played under some of the best managers in the world. He knows no manager is going to get those players playing well. So he says, I want to go. United say no. Can you blame him for not wanting to go? He's had one of the most decorated careers in history. Last year was a complete write-off. He doesn't want to write off another year. Can you blame Ronaldo for wanting to go, really? He's in a graveyard shift again today, watching those lot, being led by a prat, with people around him who just couldn't create a bloody paper aeroplane. Can you blame Ronaldo for wanting to go? You really can't. You can't. You just can't. It's a farce. It really is. Tactics, I can't even talk about the tactics. I don't know where the high line was. I don't know where the pretty triangles were. I don't know where the chances created were. It was ridiculous. But you know, on Ten Hag again, Eriksen as a CDM. There's 2 things that jump out for me. Martinez. I've seen Cannavaro play and Poyal play. They're 5'10". They were brilliant in the air. I wasn't worried about Martinez's height. The 4th goal was on him. Ten Hag bought him. He spent a lot of money on him. 55 million euros for a centre-back that might not actually be very good in the air. That could be an absolute shambles of a signing. We might have to play him as a CDM. Eriksen as a number 6. I think that is something that... Look, I want to say this. On Ten Hag, I'll stay with him. You'll stay with him. The media won't. They'll start already. They'll be like... That is an Eredivisie manager who doesn't know the Premier League. Putting Eriksen as a number 6. That was where the game was lost. Eriksen as a 6 was where the game was lost. I agree with McTominay not playing, but you could have played Garner. You could have played Donny. Putting Eriksen at a number 6 away from home, he's going to get absolutely slaughtered for that, Ten Hag, I'm afraid. Let's do the player ratings, because I've got to do a call-in on TalkSport at 8 o'clock. We've got the fan forum coming up at 10 to 8. I'm on TalkSport at 8 o'clock. You can listen on the radio. You can call in if you want to. It's also live on YouTube, and we've got the fan forum as well. So lots going on. I can't wait to take the calls from the public about this absolute farce. But look, let's do the player ratings. So mark every player at 10. Look, I like David De Gea, but it's a 2 from me. Yeah, he wasn't very good today. That's probably the worst game I've seen David De Gea ever play for Manchester United. I like David De Gea. He's been a great servant to the club. There's nobody to replace him as well. You're not going to play Tom Heaton, I don't think. He was dreadful today. He was dreadful. I have no agenda against any player, because there's players I don't like and there's players I do like. But David De Gea is a player I like. He was dreadful today too. Delot, I just didn't notice Delo. You know what? That's the worst thing. 4 goals conceded. I'll probably give him a 3. Look, Maguire's the captain. Roy Keane was a captain. Brian Robson was a captain. Gary Neville was a captain. John Terry was a captain. Sergio Ramos was a captain. The captain runs the team. Nobody respects Maguire. You could see that last year. If you've captained a team to 7 thrashings in the last 12 months, you're not a very good captain. There is something going on at that football club. I want the Glazers out. I want proper owners in so that whatever's going on at that football club, we can stop keeping people in place who don't deserve it. There is player power at that football club beyond you would believe. There is something weird going on. How he is the captain, how he is starting, I just do not know. I don't think he was dreadful, but I just don't get it. Martinez, look, I'm giving him a 3 as well. Wasn't very good. Second game in a row. Didn't look good against Brighton. Didn't look good against Brentford. That's a worry. That's a worry because that's a new signing. Luke Shaw, I like Luke Shaw again. You know, I don't have agendas. I like Luke Shaw, but he's been dreadful for ages. So it's a 2 from me. The way he got outpaced on that 4th goal, I never thought I would see that happen. You know, that's just complete and utter lack of fitness. It's just ridiculous. Fred, oh, smiley face Fred, who everybody likes, who was absolutely shit too. Ericsson, look, I've got to give him a 2. I like Ericsson. He was probably at fault for 2 goals, maybe 3 goals. It didn't work. He should have scored 2 goals in the second half. I like Ericsson, but that's not what we're not playing a popularity contest here. Bruno, 2 at best. I mean, how he again, we spoke about Maguire as captain. Why does this guy keep playing? Why does he play 90 minutes? He's rubbish. What message does it... There's something going on at this football club. Certain players keep getting picked no matter what, and they never get subbed. Rashford, Bruno, Maguire, and normally McTominay, they normally start all the time. And if they don't start, they'll get brought on ahead of other people like McTominay did today. I don't get it. It's beyond... There's something going on. I suspected it with Ranić. I really suspect it now. I know Ten Hag's his own man, but he's subbing and benching his own signings to keep these favourites involved. Amazing. Sancho wasn't actually terrible. I would give him a 4. I think he's in a bit of a graveyard shift. Some of his passing was okay. He was bad. Look, 6 is average, so 4 is still shit. But I don't think he was as bad as some others, so I'd give him a 4. Rashford, I mean, God, give him what you like. 3 from me. Again, played 90 minutes. Nothing. Take the money from PSG. Please take the money from PSG. Because I don't see how this guy's going to get any better. I just don't see any improvement from last season at all. I've had a full season. I've had a pre-season. I've not been injured. I'm fully ready. Again, 90 minutes, nothing. Ronaldo, for me, I'd give him a 4 like Sancho. In fact, I'd give him man of the match. You know, slim pickings, but his work rate was unbelievable. He was shouting at the team when we was conceding. I mean, he didn't play well. He was way below average, but for me, him and Sancho were the best of a bad bunch, and he was better than Sancho. Varane was okay when he came on, 5. He should be starting games. Why are we benching a Champions League winner 4 times and one of the best centre-backs in the world? It's crazy. Why is a new signing not starting ahead of Luke Shaw? Again, I'd give him a 5. What is he doing coming on? He was crap when he came on as well. 1. Anthony Elanga just shows you the lack of depth that we've got. He was okay when he came on. Donny, barely worth giving him a score. Ten Hag, look, 2nd week in a row, his team selections were off. The team didn't play anywhere near like they're meant to play. His substitutions, apart from bringing Varane and Malacia on at half-time, bringing McTominay back on after dropping him, ignoring Garner and Donny, taking Sancho off, keeping Maguire, Bruno and Rashford on for 90 minutes, playing Ericsson as a number 6, taking off a 55 million signing at half-time. It's your signing, you know, starting Shaw over your own signing. Confusing from Ten Hag for me, so a 4. And that's obviously a generous 4. There we go. My vote for man of the match, Cristiano Ronaldo got 39% of the vote. You know, where do we go from here? We don't play a game until a week on Monday. We need to be active in the transfer window, and I don't want to rub salt in the wound, but the reality is that next game that we're going to play, the signings that we're going to make from this point, unfortunately, I hate to say it, is going to be Rabiot. You know, the exciting thing that you've got to look forward to is Rabiot. and maybe we'll go back in for Arnautovic. I think De Jong is a very difficult deal to do. I wouldn't be surprised if Ronaldo really pushes for a move now, and who can blame him? The only thing I can say, I don't want to go and do this call-in, but I'm going to have to do it for an hour. I just want to have a few beers, put a film on, and forget. Because this ain't going to get any better. I've seen United get beat 5-0 by Newcastle. I've seen United get beat by Southampton. I've seen us get smashed by City under Sir Alex. And you don't like it, but you know we'll bounce back. We're not bouncing back. This new manager has got no points from 2 games. We're bottom of the league after 2 games. We're playing Liverpool next and then Southampton after that. I can't see us winning either of those 2 games. We are in massive, massive trouble. My concern is the media are going to get on the manager. The players are going to turn against the manager. He could be sacked. He could lose his first 5 or 6 games in a row and get the sack. The players are a disgrace to the shirt. The owners are a disgrace to the club. The board, Murta, the way they stabbed Rangnick in the back. I'm just going to say this. Rangnick should have been kept at the club. Murta and everyone stabbed him in the back. They thought they could do the job. They couldn't. If we kept Rangnick, we'd be in a different situation. It's absolutely disgraceful. I hope the fans can unite and start making some big changes at the club. But I think that in the short term, things are just going to get worse and worse. And as we know, as we saw today, when these players' heads drop, they don't know what to do. There's no leadership. They've not won a trophy in 5 years. They're not going to win a trophy this year. Things are going to get worse. The only thing that's going to save this club is absolutely gutting it from top to bottom and starting again. Thanks everyone for watching. Fan Forum. Can't wait to see what Jay's got to say. Beth and everyone else. I'll push you over there to now. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe. I'm going to be on TalkSport National Radio at 8 o'clock. We're live on YouTube as well if you want to tune in for that. I'll speak to you in a bit.